Hello, and welcome to the Friday show of Adamo Baseball, where I'm your host, Adamo. And so I was on leave all this week, hence the beard, and I got to watch a lot of baseball. Like a lot. Now, there'll be some teams where I kind of got to wing it because I wasn't really able to pay attention to them, or teams like Seattle where they're just on too late and I can't stay up that late. It's just too late for me. I live on the East Coast, so being able to stay up till 10 o'clock just to watch the first pitch of a Mariners game, it's just not possible. Whereas whereas I actually do know some things about some of the teams that are in here. I'm actually going to try and break down the whole league, like the whole standings, how they did for the whole week. And if you like my analysis on a certain team, please let me know, because I am curious as to how well I'm doing this. I'm getting a new computer tomorrow. Hopefully I get that set up, and I'll be able to have far more computing power and actually edit these videos. But I'm actually going to break down the whole league in this episode, so this one may be a two-parter. First of all, the American League East. This one was actually a really fun division. Whether you like the teams in there or not, it was a real fun division this week, and there's a lot to talk about here. First things first, there are two division leaders. One of them, people probably thought, okay, that makes sense. The other one, not so much. And it's really entertaining that they're still on top, even if it is only a week into the year. With a record of 4-3, the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. Yes, both of those teams are on top of the American League East. And I can actually tie these two together. So the first series, the Orioles went to Boston and swept the Red Sox in Fenway Park. It was the first time the Sox had been swept to open the year in Fenway, I think since like 72 or something. And the Orioles just getting a series sweep of anyone, especially to start the year, is always a good sign. I was already talking about this. John Means pitched like an ace. He's thrown 2 games thus far. He got the win opening day against the Red Sox. He threw 7 innings, allowed 1 hit. Total. The reason why Brandon Hyde didn't leave him in the game longer is because it's for the same reason that everyone hasn't been going complete games or hasn't been throwing over 100 pitches. I don't think I saw a single pitcher this past week throw 100 pitches total. Or in one start. John Means threw like an ace. Threw like an opening day starter. His second start, he didn't get the decision. But I think he only gave up 2 runs in that game. And he was able to throw 6 innings. Again. So he actually is starting to show his ace stature. And so the Orioles, mostly they need to build a pitching staff around him. Now in game 2, or the second game, Matt Harvey actually did pitch pretty well, which I have to admit I'm kind of surprised by, because he had that one golden year and kind of turned into a one-year wonder. But so he's a little inconsistent this year, but that first game he pitched pretty well. The second game, not so much. But it's looking like they're going to start having him. If Matt Harvey can be more consistent, then they may actually have a second pitcher, and their rotation is pretty good. And so, yeah, they swept to the Red Sox to start the season. They went to Yankee Stadium for their second series. They lost the first two games. A lot of teams go into Yankee Stadium and lose the first two games of a series. John Means was pitching the third game of the series, and the Orioles won. It was in extra innings, but they won that game, and it ended their 12-game losing streak to the Yankees, meaning that they were 0-10 against the Yankees last year. They ended their 12-game losing streak against the New York Yankees. And last night, the Orioles and the Red Sox played again. The Red Sox came back late in the game to win. That has been a consistent theme for the Red Sox. They've been coming back late in games and winning. Or, well, no, it's really not. But yeah, the Red Sox came back late in the game and won. But the Orioles are still 4-3. They got a winning record. And if nothing else, I think this would be good momentum for them to build off of. Now, going back to the Red Sox, they started the season 0-3. Well, then they went to then they hosted Tampa Bay for a 3-game set, and they swept the Rays, and they just blew them out. It wasn't the type of series where it's like, they kind of inch by. No. They just blew them out. I actually did get to watch one of those games, and it was scary. Nathan Eovaldi and Eduardo Rodriguez have gotten some good starts in there and are really starting to show that they can be an ace in their rotations. JD Martinez and Christian Vazquez. You don't hear that a lot about catchers, but JD Martinez and Christian Vazquez just blew the doors off of them. Like, they're batting over 400 first week of the year. Don't get that twisted. But yeah, they just they were just hitting the ball like crazy. And the Red Sox bounced back, and they're on a 4-game win streak right now. That's why they're leading the division along with the Orioles. Second series so I'm not going to get into the run differential because that's a good metric for the whole season. For like a week, it really doesn't mean much. It only matters if you win the game. The run differential really doesn't tell you anything for a week. Third in the American League East, New York Yankees. I mentioned that they took the series against the Orioles, and it looks like their pitching is really what's doing it. They lost the series to Toronto at home. They've only played home games. Their record is 3-3. I'm not doing run differential, but this should tell you everything you really need to know about the Yankees. They've only given up 15 runs the whole year. Total. They've only given up 15 runs. 15 runs through 6 games, that's given up 2 1/3 runs per game. That's not just starting pitching, that's the whole pitching staff. Meaning that their pitching actually is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And yes, Garrett Cole has been pitching like an all-star and like one of the best pitchers in baseball. Fourth in the American League East, Toronto. There's actually a couple of things to talk about with them. I mentioned that they lost the series, they won the series against the Yankees. They're 3-4. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Who did they lose to? They got swept by the Rangers. That's always sad. I mean, this year, the Rangers are not good. They got swept by the Rangers. And they lost their home opener home opener to the Angels last night. Now, I bring up the whole home opener thing because that's really what to talk about with them. So, per ESPN, they're going to be playing in Dunedin, or Dunedin, however you say that, Florida, until May 24th. Absolute earliest they're going to be returning, or absolute earliest they're going to be going anywhere else is May 24th. There is a report that they may be going to Buffalo for a part of the year. That's not kaput because ye old virus restrictions have not yet been released in or lifted in Canada. I have no idea how the Toronto Raptors or the NHL and as a whole is handling that. But in baseball, the Blue Jays are simply playing their games strictly in the U.S. So they're going to be playing in Florida at least through May 24th. And it depends on whether Canada has has brought down its restrictions for international travel to the U.S. If the Blue Jays choose not to stay in Florida for home games after May 24th, it looks like they're going to try to go back to Buffalo, which is where they played last year for the abbreviated season. Fifth in the American League East, which is a surprise to a lot of people, Tampa Bay. They're 2-4. They've given up a lot of runs, 42 to be exact. And they really haven't offensively done much. I mean, they've had some pretty good defensive plays, but offensively, they just have not been able to click. Tyler Glasnow has been good. He has. Tyler Glasnow has been really good. They took their first series, 2 out of the first 3. They're on a 4-game losing streak right now after having been swept to Boston. And outside of Tyler Glasnow, they really don't have great pitching around them. They made some additions, but I don't know that they're going to be able to rebound just quite yet. So that's my breakdown of the American League East for right now. If you want me to go more specifically, please do, but I'm gonna have to bring more of a focus. If you put in the comments that you want me to break down certain things more specifically. As I move on to the American League Central. This is interesting. Okay, leading the division as a surprise to nobody, Minnesota. They're 5-2. They're on a 2-game win streak. Their offense has been obliterating everybody. Jose Barrios has been pitching like an ace. And I don't really think I need to say much more about that because, yeah, they're destroying everyone right now. Second place in the division. Why do they have them ordered like that? I'm looking off to the side because I've got the standings pulled up on my phone. That way I don't get myself twisted. Though the website is trying to get me twisted. So we got 3 500 teams in the American League Central. The Chicago White Sox at 4-4. The Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals both at 3-3. The White Sox have scored a ton of runs. Yervin Mercedes, I didn't know that guy existed until that dude started the season hitting 8 for 8 And yeah, he's cooled off a little bit since then, but he's got, I think right now, the longest home run of the year of like 484 feet or something. He looks like Big Poppy. He's hitting like Big Poppy. If he can keep that mojo going, I would absolutely love to see that. He's the guy that they added to the lineup because Eloy Jimenez got hurt probably for the year. And Mercedes has done a pretty good job of grabbing a bat and keeping that rally going. Because, yeah, they put up some runs. All right, I'm going to start with the Royals, then I'll go to Detroit. Kansas City, I saw them play a few spring training games, but I didn't get to see them play really this year, or the first week. They're playing 500 ball. They've actually played pretty average. I don't know who they played. Just being totally honest about that. But yeah, they've scored 33 runs, which is about 5.5 runs a game. Nothing wrong with that. They've allowed 31, which is a hair under 5.5 per game, which means that their offense is good, but their pitching is not. And really, that's about what I expect. I think their offense is probably going to cool down a bit. The first series, they just destroyed Texas. Yeah, they took 2 out of 3 against the Rangers, and it was just ridiculous offense. I think they scored 14 runs in one game. They scored 10 in another. Oh, I guess their offensive output really was mostly for a couple of games. But, yeah, it was the first 2 games of the year. They just destroyed the Rangers in those 2 games. And it was entirely offensively. Their pitching staff didn't do much. And I really don't expect their pitching staff to be able to do much. Then for the Tigers, on the flip side, their pitching staff has given up some runs. On paper, they've only scored 23 in 6 games, which isn't necessarily great. However, their new guy, Akil Baddoo, that dude has played amazing, and he deserves to get some credit, okay? That dude is dude can dude. Okay, I want to see that guy. Like, I actually want to watch Tigers games just to watch that guy hit, okay? That guy is exciting. He's fun. A couple of their younger pitchers, Casey Mize, Matthew Boyd. Those guys have actually been pitching pretty well, and I really look forward to watching Tigers games the rest of the year. I don't know how many of those I'm going to get to see, but I really look forward to seeing the Tigers play this year. Then at the bottom of the division, at 2-3, Cleveland. And apparently their name is still officially the Indians. That wasn't them that they played. Okay. We all know the Indians' pitching staff is stacked. In 5 games, they've given up 16 runs. That's not just their starting pitching, that's the whole pitching staff. It's like 3 runs a game. Their offense is exactly what we expected. It's Jose Ramirez and then everyone else. Look, if Jose Ramirez gets hurt, they're screwed. They actually could finish last, not because of their pitching staff, but because they have no hitting. So, don't expect much from the Indians going forward. And that's just me. Maybe I'm just too much of a pessimist, but I don't see that going very far. All right, now on to the American League West. In first place, Houston, 6-1. For the record, I don't know who they played. I think they played Oakland. Yes. Yeah, they swept the A's. Okay. In 7 games, they scored 51 runs. You can't ask for much more than that. That's better than 7 runs per game. Yeah, their offense has really taken off. And they played like a first-place team. Now, I want to make this clear. With the exception of one team, that being the 2018 Red Sox, if you win like 10 of your first 11 or whatever, or more, which I'm not saying Houston's going to do that, but it's very possible, you usually end up crashing back down to earth hard. Because I don't see Houston being able to maintain that level. I think that they're going to start coming back down to earth here pretty soon. I know Greinke has done a really good job, like, being that ace that they need him to be. He pitched like an opening day starter, really, for the first time. And, yeah, Houston's really got hot out of the gate. Second in the American League West, the LA Angels. So their pitching staff still needs a bit of work, but it's better than it has been. And they've been putting up some runs. Shohei Ohtani. Dude. He has the fastest pitch of the year at like 101, and he had like the fastest home run. It was one of those, like, he just bloop, watch, and then just trot around the bases. Because, yeah, he's playing like a legit two-ways player. And apparently he's like the first guy since, like 1903, Jack Dempsey, to bat second in the lineup as a pitcher. He's hitting like a guy who deserves to be second in the lineup, and he's a pitcher who's actually hitting. If he was in the National League, he'd be their one argument against doing the whole universal DH thing. I think both leagues have agreed that the universal DH is necessary. But the collective bargaining agreement is up in December, I think. And then they'll be forced to implement it. But Shohei Ohtani is definitely the exception to the rule, and he's playing like it. Third in the American League West, the Texas Rangers. They did have some pretty good offense against the Royals. Their pitching staff was just that bad. And frankly, I think that their 3-3 record is a bit a bit better than it should be. And it's only, they're on a 2-game win streak. But don't expect it to hold up. They're not going to play like that the whole year. I think that they were just hitting above their weight, and I don't think it's going to hold up. Fourth in the American League West, the Seattle Mariners at 3-4. As I mentioned at the top of the show, I have not had a chance to watch Seattle. I know that they had a couple of extra inning games where I think they got a win, like a walk-off hit in one of them. And I think Marco Gonzalez has actually been playing, or has been pitching up to standard. I don't know how James Paxton is doing. I know he returned to Seattle, but beyond that, I don't know anything else about them. I will not lie to you. I will not try to beef up certain things. I don't know. Last in the American League West, the Oakland A's at 1-7. Their pitching has been awful. Their offense has been awful. They got their first win 2 days ago against the LA Dodgers. And it wasn't because they played particularly great. Trevor Bauer got 10 strikeouts, I think, in 7 innings. It was because he just got no run support, and the A's won it in extras. So they're off to a really bad start. I don't think they're going to play like that the whole year. I think they're just off to a bad start. I know the old saying is you can't win a World Series in April, but you can lose it. I don't think that they're quite there. I think that they just had a really bad start to the year. They had a really bad draw. The Astros destroyed them. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers, and they got swept by somebody else. I don't know who the other team was. I was right about this being a 2-parter. I'm going to run out of space on my tablet to record this episode, so this is going to be the American League breakdown, and I'm going to release another episode right after this for the National League. So if you like this episode, you like me breaking everything down, or you feel like I need to focus on certain things instead, let me know down in the comments below. And if you're listening to my podcast, come over to my YouTube channel. Let me know there. Or at me on Twitter, at AdamoBaseball1. Or just search Adamo Baseball. It's the first thing that pops up. So with that being said, thank you for listening. Cheers until next time.